Hey boys, it's Harm9. Today we're going to be customizing the Ocelot Penetrator in Grand Theft Auto Online. This vehicle is on sale this week with the weekly update, so I figured I'd customize it today. Now, I don't believe that I've ever customized the Ocelot Penetrator, so we're going to go ahead and get started off with the armor. We're going to go all the way up on this. Of course, the brakes, we're going to go all the way up on those as well because we want the best performance possible. For the front bumper, we do have quite a few different options here. I'm not sure which one of these that I like the best. I kind of like the carbon chin bumper. I also don't really mind the carbon splitter. I feel like the carbon splitter is pretty good. I do kind of want to go for like an aggressive build with this thing, so we'll go for that. For the rear diffuser, let's see what we can do here. We can go for a carbon tail aero bumper or carbon aero bumper. Maybe we go for the custom carbon tail bumper. I kind of like that look. We'll go for that. For the engine, we do have a few different options here. We're going to go all the way up performance-wise. Then we have different air filters that we can put on this thing. I don't mind the regular ones. The black air filter is cool. So is the triple air filter. Let's go for the triple. Why not? And for the valve covers, what do we have here? Oh, we can change the color of them. Let's go painted. I think painted is going to look really cool, so we'll do that. For the exhaust options, we have quite a few different ones. That is super strange. I think we'll go for the twin racing exhausts because those do look pretty good, I feel like, so we'll do that. For the hood, we have quite a few different options. Oh, we have a weird like offset scooped hood. That is really interesting. Or of course we have a carbon scooped hood. I'm not a super huge fan of it being offset, but at the same time it is kind of cool, so I think we're just going to go for the scooped hood. Next up for the headlights, we are of course going to go xenon for those. For the plate, we are going to go yellow on black. For the respray of the vehicle, we only have one color. We could go for something like the crew color, which is a really bright red. Not a super big fan of it on this car. I'm thinking about going for something like an ultra blue though. I have seen one of these cars with ultra blue, or maybe with a racing blue. I think I kind of like racing blue better. Let's go for that. I've seen one of these cars with a blue on it before and I thought that it looked really good, so we'll go for it. Next up, for the side skirts on the vehicle, we do have a lot of different options here. Actually, this is probably the most options we've had in any of the customization menus. I kind of like the invert GT skirts. I don't mind those, or the regular GT skirts. I think the invert looks better though, so we'll go for the invert. Let's just scroll through them to make sure that, yeah, I think I made the right choice. I think I like those the best. Now we do have the drift wing that we can add to this thing. We also have the carbon wing. We have the tuner wing as well. We have the carbon wing type 2, and of course we have the GT wing. The GT wing, I'm not a super big fan of that. I do like the tuner wing though, so we're gonna go for the tuner wing. I think that looks pretty unique and pretty good with this vehicle. For the transmission, we are gonna go all the way up on that. The turbo as well, of course. And we gotta do something about the wheels here, because as much as these like fit the look of the car, I don't like the look of them like at all. So we gotta go and take a look and see if we can get this thing some rims that are a little more appropriate for it. I don't know that this thing looks really good with low profile tires though. That's the only thing. I mean, it can, don't get me wrong. The Mercy concaves are a pretty safe bet on this thing, I feel like. Even the Hype 5s kind of work with the overall shape of the car. I don't typically go for these, but I'm thinking about it actually. You know what? We're gonna go for the Hype 5s. I know that's not a very typical rim that you would maybe see on this thing, but I do like the look of it. Now for the color, I could go for a black, which don't get me wrong, it looks really good. Stone silver is kind of nice too though. The other thing that I was thinking of is maybe like a bronze of some sort. Bronze actually looks pretty interesting. I don't hate the look of it, honestly. You know what? We're gonna go for some bronze rims on this. I know you guys might not like that, but I do think that actually, I think it looks pretty good. So we also have all of these different tire designs that we could put on the vehicle. I'm not a big fan of them though, so we're just gonna leave those off. Of course, for the windows, we are gonna tint these all the way out because I feel like it makes the car look a little bit more sleek, I guess. So we'll do that. And that's pretty much it for the actual customization on the vehicle. It's time to take this thing down to the ground. We're going to do a sound test and a full review on the car. Okay, it's time to see what this car actually sounds like. It doesn't sound too bad. It sounds like a supercar. It sounds kind of like I feel like it should. So that is good. Off the line, there's a decent amount of traction. I do believe this thing is rear-wheel drive only, if I'm not mistaken. Let's actually check that really quick. Just gonna come up against this wall. Oh, it's all-wheel drive. Okay, interesting. So the Ocelot Penetrator is all-wheel drive, as it turns out. I always thought that this thing was rear-wheel drive only, so that might change my overall opinion of the vehicle. So far, so good. The vehicle is quite fast in a straight line. This thing, something that I'm noticing with the Penetrator is the camera angle is like really low to the ground. I'm not 100% sure, but it definitely feels like this thing has a different camera angle than most of the other cars do in the game, even most of the other supercars. I know the supercar camera angle is generally a bit lower, but this feels like excessively lower. Maybe I'm completely losing my mind, but it definitely feels a little tiny bit off. The Penetrator, so far so good. It's pretty quick, I gotta say. It's definitely not a slow vehicle. I know that this thing is not really very close to the top 10 fastest supercars around a track, so if you guys are into racing, the Penetrator is probably not going to be a car that you're going to be super interested in. However, for free mode and you know, just looks wise, it's a pretty interesting car. It is of course based off of the Jaguar, I believe the XJ220 in real life, which is from the 1990s or the late 80s. I can't actually remember, but it's one or the other. Which is, it was a very fast car for its time. I believe it was actually the fastest car in the entire world for some degree of time. So that is a pretty impressive feat for the real life variant of this vehicle. The customization on this car is not too bad either. I definitely can't complain. There could be more options, obviously, but you know, I feel like the customization is decent enough. I was happy with the amount of customization options that were available for the car. As far as the handling goes, it feels pretty good. The all-wheel drive, I feel like, is definitely helping this thing. It doesn't understeer like some of the all-wheel drive supercars in Grand Theft Auto tend to do. So that is a big plus in my opinion. I absolutely hate understeer on a vehicle, so this thing, you know, being all-wheel drive and having the extra traction but not having the understeer that typically goes with it is a very, very good thing. It's also quite quick. I mean, the acceleration is very decent out of these corners. It does get up to a decent speed before I have to brake again. So I'm pretty impressed with the overall performance of the vehicle. As just a free mode cruising vehicle, I mean, the Penetrator, you can't go wrong with it. You know, you could ask it to be a bit faster. You know, the handling could maybe be a little bit more precise, but overall, I really have no complaints about this vehicle, and I actually was expecting to. I was expecting the Penetrator to not be that great of a vehicle because I have driven this thing in some races as a stock vehicle, and I expected that, you know, adding a spoiler option to the vehicle and, you know, not customizing it would not probably add that much to the vehicle. But as it turns out, with these customization options on the car, I actually do really like this car. I'm not even really a big fan of the look of the vehicle overall, but with the customization features that I've put on it, I am honestly pretty happy. I mean, I can't say that I don't like this car. So good on the Ocelot Penetrator. It has impressed me. This thing is of course on sale this week, like I mentioned at the start of the video. So if you guys are interested in picking one of these things up, now is probably the best time to do so. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it for the Ocelot Penetrator customization and review in Grand Theft Auto Online. If you guys enjoyed this video, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.